Kevin, what an awesome job you did, and I'm happy that all these people participated. Folks, I'm so grateful for all of you putting in your little feedback to Kevin, because this is probably one of the best times of year for YouTube, because I always feel that the community gets closer together. We participate, and as you can see, now we know little bits and pieces that I never knew that KFC was such a big thing in Japan. Apparently, that's what they consider a treat for themselves. It would be difficult for me to actually try not to stay with the staples that I get to see. There's other things that I could have mentioned, but the restrictions that were given, well, I tried to keep it minimal. But here in New Brunswick, in Moncton, New Brunswick, well, actually from St. Anne de Madawaska, I'm a Braillon. I'm from Madawaska County up north. And there's lots of things that get involved in Christmas. There's sipot that can only be made with 6 types of meat. The meat that you usually use has to be half game, half regular meat. So you'd have beef. No, you wouldn't have beef. You would have pork. You'd have chicken. You'd have deer. You'd have moose. And then one other meat of your choice, possibly 2 more. But it has to be something that basically the meat is chunks. It's about like yay big. More than, a little bit bigger than bite size. Load full of chopped up potatoes to actually go same size as the meat. And in each layer you have 1 layer of meat, 1 layer of potatoes, and if you want other veggies inside you can. But it's usually 1 layer of meat, 1 layer of potatoes, and then 1 layer of dough, pot. Okay, and then on top of that you build it up, and you do it in a roaster. Well, actually roasters are not that long. They're actually that possibly wide. Long, you'd actually have to come all the way out here. And it feeds a lot of family. Both families that I have, well, actually my mom's family, there were a lot of children, great-grandchildren, her brothers and sisters. All in all, when we get together, if we manage to do it together, it's 40 to 60 some odd people at one point. It's very rare that we can, because we all have responsibilities, and unfortunately timelines vary from family to family. But that's one of the things that they tend to do. You do it either during Christmas or during New Year's. Same with tortilla. You can eat it during Christmas or New Year's. Some people eat it year-round. I eat it year-round. I don't keep it just for that particular season. But my grandmother used to bake butter beans, or we'll call them in Braillon, cos de fève, or as many people like to call them, fave au lard. Which would be wax beans, snapped and cooked with bacon, a nice strip of bacon lard to actually flavor the whole thing, and that goes with everything. Some potatoes, some roasts. My grandmother's roast usually had wild rabbit or hare, chicken and pork mixed in to actually, or beef, actually, most often than not beef, mixed into the roast with loads full of veggies. Turnip, carrots, potatoes. Sometimes, well, she usually made salads to go along with that. My grandmother's favorite was making whipped cream salad, which was basically a can full of cocktail fruit thrown into freshly made whipped cream. But her whipped cream was the store-bought variety that you can actually do in packet and add milk and then you whip it. Either that or famous Jello molds that I couldn't eat because I didn't like the texture or the taste. And then you can't forget the holiday treats that our grandparents and the current generations actually do. I wish I would have actually studied my grandma's way of doing it, because I miss Mama's cooking. I miss her handmade mochas. Mochas are cakes that you can buy that are usually small, about like yay big, yay thick, yay wide. And she used to bake her cakes and cut them all in the same length, and then she'd take them and hand dip every side of the mochas into icing that she'd make. Oh, they were some good. They weren't my favorite though, but they were very good. My grandmother's other favorites were her cocoa cookies, which I think I've got cocoa here. All you need is cocoa, walnuts, and one more ingredient, which I don't know what it is, but they're delicious. They don't have any milk products in them, and they go well with anything, including alcohol. Although I don't recommend you drinking and eating sweets, because if you overindulge, you may end up having a huge hangover or get up and be sick. Cookies galore. She used to make these jam cookies. They'd be like yay big. She'd punch a hole on the top one, and the top ones would actually show what kind of jam, and it usually would be apple jelly in between the actual cookies. She'd make cakes. She used to make tons and tons of it. She used to make these, for the lack of a better word, rum balls, but they didn't contain any rum. They were made with sugared fruit, coconut, walnut, and cherries mixed in, and then they'd be rolled, cold rolled, and dipped in hot chocolate with a paraffin treatment. Paraffin is a wax that you can actually eat that's non-toxic to humans. So to keep the chocolate from actually breaking apart or overly melting because of the hot temperatures inside the house, they were coated in a light dusting of paraffin. And I'm probably forgetting tons, but those are my grandmother's legacies, and they live on in my memories, and they live on in my parents' memories, as much as everyone who participated in this, who actually did it. A special shout out to Kevin for actually doing all this, for Chi for taking the time to participate and showing the food that I've never heard of, for Tezzy with her enjoyment. And I have to agree with Tezzy. When my grandmother was alive, we used to get together at her place. We get there for noon, and we'd actually leave only at about 10-11 p.m. because we'd stay there for dinner. There'd be so many leftovers that we'd stay over for supper, and then still be leftovers for a week. I know, that's a lot of food. We weren't a lot of people. We were talking about maybe like 10, 15 people, 30 people max in the house. But even then, they wouldn't be all staying, because many people want to spend time with both families, so we'd have them come over to spend some time with us, and then they go over for supper time with the others, or vice versa. So, but to all of you, I wish you a wonderful holiday season. A Merry Christmas for those of you who celebrate Merry Christmas. And this is my little gift for all of you awesome people of YouTube. Here's your image of the Jokey Smurf Award for all participating in this. For all the girls who participated in, well, women who participated in this, here's your image of the Smurfette Award for taking courage in your hands and actually giving us pieces of your lives. And for Kevin, here's yours for being an awesome leader. Here's your image of the Papa Smurf Award for just being an awesome Canadian residing in a different country. And for all Canadians who are expatriated, not by force but by sheer will and want, you're my idol in many ways, even if I don't know you, because I have no grandiose schemes in life, and I don't see myself living in a different country. I prefer to live where I am and communicate with people where I am, visit, travel, possibly work part-time, but live, I can't say no, but my heart's not in it at the moment. So that's it, folks. Have a nice one. And for all of you who don't know who Kevin Busen is, well, I'll put the link down below. Go visit his channel, and please view this particular Christmas food and drink around the world. Trust me, I'm hungry right now. Supper's cooking, so I'm going to go eat. Have a nice one.